What is up, everybody? I'm NoLuxGiven, and today we're going to be taking a look at an apocalypse game and talking about Excalibur. Excalibur is a really powerful tier 7 treasure that, to be honest, I've kind of been underrating. Part of the reason for that is once you pick up Excalibur, it's just so much harder to find additional treasures, and that means that I'm not really putting together sweet combinations to highlight on my YouTube channel, and so I've kind of strayed away from Excalibur. But it's still a really powerful treasure, and I think that Excalibur was one of the first treasures that I looked at when I got into Storybook Brawl and said, wow, this thing is awesome, and I played with it a ton. And then as I played more, I started to appreciate some other interactions and combinations with other tier 7 treasures in the game, so I haven't really utilized Excalibur that much. But this game might help to change my mind, because Excalibur does a lot of really fantastic work for us in this one, and definitely proves itself to be quite a powerful treasure. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. This is a video on the previous patch, and you can tell I'm still a little bit sick, a little bit congested, but if you are looking for videos on the current patch, you can take a look at my games from the past 3 days. I've got a Puffy game, a Goldilocks game, and then an Evil Eye on tier 4 game, and all of those also just highlight all of the new changes on the patch as well, the Sporko and Lady of the Lake changes, as well as Horn of Olympus now being a tier 5 treasure. So that's some other content that you can look forward to in the meantime. But for right now, we're going to be taking a look at a game on the old patch, and we're off to a pretty good start here as Apocalypse. We've been slaying with Kitty Cutpurse, which is allowing us to play 7 characters on 3.0. And we've got a Lucky, some Golden Chicken, so we're building into some extra econ, and we are almost at our Cinderella activation as well. So a really strong start for the game. There's a bunch of really powerful tier 2 treasures on Apocalypse that we could potentially find ourselves in possession of shortly. So doing pretty well here, all things considered, and we are going to tie another combat, so that's really good. I'll get to pick up a doubly for free, basically, and we'll also flip over the Cindy right now. And I do really like runestones on Apocalypse. I'm slightly afraid that because that allows you to have access to those powerful tier 7 treasures that we've been talking about, though I'm a little bit afraid that I picked it up too soon. And when I see a pair of vampires here, like, I can't pass that up. And I also want to pick up this prized pig, but it's certainly a little bit awkward because now, if I triple the vampire, then I'm going to be grabbing a tier 4 treasure, and yeah, overall, it's just very awkward. There are good tier 4 treasures. Again, this is the previous patch, so I could look for Horn of Olympus, and that would be really strong for us. Fool's Gold, not super interested in. Forking Rod, not super interested in on Apocalypse, but we'll still see what comes out of this and give a little bit of a gander here. It's going to be too hard to pass. I mean, a Romeo triple, I can pass up. Romeo, excuse me, isn't super exciting, but a vampire triple, that's going to just be too much to pass up. So I am going to pick that up. Like I said, Fool's Gold and Forking Rod, not super exciting, but Moonsong Horn, you can actually do a little bit with on Apocalypse. First thing is it's just going to give you some stats, which is good, and making your spells cost less will help you in terms of picking up XP as the game goes on. And that's what APOC's all about. So I don't think that this is an absolutely terrible place to be. And now we also have an upgraded Vampire, which is just good power, good stats that can help to bring us into the later stages of this game. So that's kind of the idea from here. We shall see how it goes. Looks like Vampire is going to get the Slay, so it's going to grab a 3-for-1 here, which is pretty nice. And then we also get the Slay with Kitty Cutpurse. We will lose our prized pig, and we will lose the combat, taking a little bit of damage, so that's unfortunate. We also lose a magic research, but not the worst thing in the world, all things considered. I'm going to pick up a pair of Medusas here, which I think is going to be more than enough strength to last us for a little bit now, though I could also just see taking a monster book here It's also a pretty powerful character. I'll have to sell off 2 of my units to pick that up, but then I think we are in a good spot. I also probably would have sold to pick up a Juliet. I think that that is quite strong as well. But now with a monster book, a pair of Medusas, and a Vampire, I think that we're in a good spot, and hopefully we can start to try to prioritize some XP spells and turn into an APOC and really grab that big APOC level 6 bonus. That's the whole deal with APOC. It's a pretty straightforward game, made even more straightforward by the Excalibur that we know is coming at the end. But I basically wanted to showcase this one because I haven't showcased that much Excalibur, and while I do think it's a little bit on the boring side, like I said, I still think that it is a powerful option that I want to have documented in some capacity on this channel. So that is why we are taking a look here. Go for another Genie's Wish. We'll find another Beauty's Influence. No XP just yet. And then I believe I'm going to sell off 2 more characters here and pick up another monster book. Again, just to continue to get a little bit more powerful. Still no Juliet. Could replace the Romeo with the Lucky. Then we've also picked up a Puff Puff. Old art, showcasing the new Puffy hero there. Yeah, going to... I think just stick and play with this Romeo just to play a 6-4 rather than a 4-3. It looks like that will be the case. And let me rewind one more second, sorry, because we missed this first Vampire attack. It attacks and kills into an Ogre Princess, and my opponent has also not found a Juliet by the looks of it. They've got a pair of Romeos, but no Juliet, so this is going to be an easy win for us here. And now we are on 4.2. Would really love to find some XP. It is going to be cheaper if we can eventually find it. That's why I've been firing off the Genie's Wishes. They've been totally free, but we will find some actual XP on this turn. So I'm going to cast the End on Doubly. That brings us to 5.0. We also find a Juliet, and then we're done with the turn. So I'll jump ahead for a second here, cutting the Puff Puff in favor of a returning Juliet. And Juliet's going to be pretty strong for us here, and as well as just all of our other characters. The monster books are giving Blessing of Athenas to these Medusas, which is really helpful because that is making these Medusas closer to just be able to attack and kill, which means they don't have to double attack onto the same things, which is always annoying. It's not going to be quite enough to win the combat, but we only take a little damage, down to 23. I can take it. This is the turn where you want to potentially make your board a little bit stronger, especially completing any of those outstanding triples that you might have. So we'll triple up on the monster book, put the Puff Puff back in. That's really good. And then the other thing we want to do this turn is lock onto an XP spell. Now we don't find one, so we're just going to wind up casting this Shrivel and rolling down. The Moonsong Horn affords us the ability to cast this Shrivel and have it not feel like we have wasted too much of our gold casting combat spells. So that's pretty sweet. And next turn, we're just going to fully roll down, try to find XP, and then sell off our board. If you're unfamiliar with how you want to play APOC, that is the strategy. So we'll see how that works out, how much damage we wind up taking thanks to this Beauty. Doesn't look like we're going to take too much, though a lot of it's going to come down to what these Medusas can do. The statues there still being supported by the Good Witch, which is always funny. So only take a little bit of damage there from Beauty, and now I'm just full rolling down for some XP. And it is going to be a totally full roll down here. We're going to go all the way down, I believe, to 0 gold. Oh no, actually we still have 3 gold left. So now we will sell off everything and pick up this XP spell. That is going to give us 10 gold to spend and a board full of level 6 characters. Don't really have too much in the way of synergies right now. We've got some trees, we've got some supporting stuff. I am eyeing up the ability to just pick up 2 9 Sea Terrors there, but it seemed a little bit sketchy. I'm going to wind up not going for that. Should have picked up the Golden Chicken. That would have allowed me to bank some econ. I think I was just low on time and so I was slightly stressing about that, but I do kind of like the Sporko pickup here. It works very well with both the Doom Breath and the Princess P, Empress P, hashtag Queen P. That's going to allow my Doom Breath to take out a ton of my opponent's characters, and then we wind up being okay enough to win this fight. So pretty sweet stuff. We are even going to steal an A on there, though we don't get any discounts. And then we're going to dream. And I really like dreaming on Apocalypse. And we are immediately going to dream into Morgan, which gives us a free tier 6 treasure. And that's going to be a free tier 7 treasure in the form of Pandora's Box. Of course, there's a lot of really powerful tier 7 treasures when you're playing trees, which is already kind of what I want to be doing, and ultimately this puts us down a really, really strong direction. And you already know what's going to be inside of that Pandora's box because it's the title of the video. That's going to be our Excalibur. And that's why I was saying it the way that I said at the beginning of the video. I typically don't pick Excalibur, though this was a time that Excalibur was given to us, and I think that gave me some reason to potentially reevaluate it for future games, perhaps. And maybe I will be valuing it a little bit more highly. So we'll see how all of that works out. We're unable to steal the Court Wizard here, and it does look like we are close to taking a little bit of damage here. Yeah, we'll take 9 down to 7, but then we get Excalibur, and we immediately see an upgraded Burning Beard. So this is going to be a ton of stats immediately onto the board. All we have to do now is find an Echo Wood, and we are in a really, really fabulous spot. We're also playing up against the Ghost here, so I'm going to take this as an opportunity to try to grab an additional treasure. Like I said, you don't typically have too much access to additional treasures on an Excalibur board, but Hercules is one of those ways, as well as Lancelot, that you can still continue to get treasures after the fact if you have not already used them. And then of course the other way to grab additional treasures is through Morgan, which we have already dreamed into. If we manage to lose a combat though, we are dead, so probably don't want to do that. What we actually want to do is find a forbidden fruit, and if we're able to do that, then we'll grab a additional tier 6 treasure, as well as grabbing that +1 gold. So definitely keeping my eyes peeled for a forbidden fruit. We're going to get halfway through completing Hercules this turn, but not quite the full way through. Golden Chicken is also something that you always want to pick up when you are playing an Excalibur game, because it's totally free. It just nets you gold, and that is really fantastic. And then I'm also going to pick up an upgraded Heartwood Elder. Like I said, we could pick up this Lancelot here, though I think it's a little bit risky, and I ultimately don't think that it's worth the gold that I'd have to spend into it. I really want to find an Echo Wood as soon as possible, and I'm already using up one of the slots on the board for Hercules to grab that. It's also like, what tier 5 treasures would I actually like? Staff of the Old Toad plus Excalibur is really, really cool, really, really powerful, but Ambrosia, Hand of Midas, those aren't going to do anything for me, and some of the other treasures are just going to be very medium. There's not really a huge need to pick up a Lancelot at this point in the game, but tier 6 treasures, there's still a number of things that could be really strong for us, so going to continue to hunt with Hercules in the meantime, and we'll see what we can put together here. We have got some pretty massive trees, and it does look like this is going to be enough, though Mummy's going to grab a 2-for-1, and then Pumpkin is going to spawn out a bunch of stuff for us. So we will wind up getting the win. It winds up looking a little bit close, but we do eventually get there, and then we grab our tier 6 treasure, and Phoenix Feather is exactly what we are looking for here. So super happy to find that one. And then we find another Ashwood Elm. I'll pick that up as well. We are going full trees, as many as we possibly can. And now we really just need to find this Echo Wood. I will cast a Drink Me potion. Doesn't really get us anywhere. The main thing I was looking for was that forbidden fruit, which could grab us a free tier 6 treasure. I thought that would have been really sweet, but no forbidden fruit for us just yet. But it also does mean that I just want to pick up any Drink Me potions that I find, and then we find this Echo Wood. So that's going to give us a really, really huge board. I'll sell off the Pumpkin and the Hercules and throw that in, and this is now just an absolutely massive, massive board. We're looking really good here. We've got the Green Knight and the Heartwood Elders pumping up all of these Ashwood Elms, and then only one Burning Beard, but that is going to be enough to give us an Echo Wood that goes up to the 2000s with about 600 health. That's the more important number generally, but that health is going to be more than enough to take down my opponent. Then we even have a Phoenix Feather on the board. You'll notice that I am ignoring all of the True Love's Kisses. I think that once you have Excalibur, True Love's Kiss doesn't really do that much for you, so just ignoring those. And then I fire off a Genie's Wish to end the turn. We only had 1 gold left. I figured, hey, maybe it'll hit us a Forbidden Fruit. Happened to be the other day, I died to a Genie's Wish casting a Forbidden Fruit. It flipped over my Cinderella, so it was still worth it, but I wound up dying in the process. Pretty silly stuff. We are going to wind up backlining one of our Heartwood Elders and then frontlining one of our Echo Woods, and Geppetto, I believe, was on summons, so this shouldn't be too big of a deal. We just have absolutely massive trees at this point, and I think we are in a really, really good position to run the rest of this lobby. I did also just notice that because of Gloves of Thieving, we actually stole a Lancelot from one of our opponents. It's pretty silly, a little bit awkward, because once you've done that, it actually means that you can no longer find Lancelot treasures yourself. You can no longer find a Lancelot in the shop, so that took away one of our potential treasure options, even though, like I said, I wasn't really planning on going for that regardless. As you can see, our Echo Woods are going to be massive. The only way that this Geppetto would have been able to battle with us is if they had found some Echo Woods of their own, but they have not. And we're going to take them out because we've got Excalibur, which is just bringing the pain here. So I'd love to find one more tree on this final turn, and Echo Wood I think we will certainly settle for. So I'll pick that one up, and now I'm going to play just trees. And this will be our final board here. We'll play a front line full of Echo Woods, and then we will end this game by... Hold up, when's it coming? Casting a Forbidden Fruit. There we go. And that gives us a final tier 6 treasure to end the game. I'm going to wind up tossing Excalibur because it doesn't do anything for us on the last turn, and Gloves of Thieving plus Mimic Chest is pretty cool, but Mimic Chest plus Phoenix Feather, that's really what we're going for here on this one. It's a little bit awkward because our Echo Woods are probably going to die first, so because of that, I throw an Ashwood Elm in the first position for the express purpose of it dying, so that way if one of my Echo Woods goes, then it will actually be able to make use of the Phoenix Feather. Now it's not going to matter because we were so strong that none of our characters wound up dying, and we just wound up getting a pretty dominating 100% win on that one. Pretty sweet game, I think. Definitely showcases the power of Excalibur. We'd picked up 2 of these trees before grabbing Excalibur, and then we grabbed 5 of these trees after that fact. And we're just able to do some extremely powerful things with that. And then we also had a Heartwood Elder that we grabbed from the Excalibur as well, in addition to a Hercules, which was able to grab us the Phoenix Feather, which, okay, didn't actually even wind up doing anything. But that was still a ton of fun, and hopefully you guys enjoyed, and who knows, maybe I will start trying to play with Excalibur a little bit more in the future. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm NoLuxGiven. Peace.